Coming up next on Newswatch at noon, a massive police force is searching for a convicted murderer who escaped from a Nelsonville prison. We have the latest details on the manhunt.
The Athens County Dog Shelter brings in 1,000 dogs every year. Find out how the shelter is dealing with stuffed cats and still caring for the canines.
And OU Admissions wants to increase its numbers in the upcoming years. Learn what will attract future students. Newswatch at noon starts now.
You are looking at a live picture of City Hall in Nelsonville, where state and local police are leading a manhunt for an escaped murderer. Good afternoon, I am Ophelia Adjei-Awuah.
And I'm Megan Vanslow. Hocking College is closed until further notice because of the escape. 58-year-old John Modi is a convicted murderer who went missing late last night. Newswatch at Noon reporter Patrick Klinger is live in the newsroom with the development of this story. Patrick, what's the latest?
Correctional complex because they are still sweeping the area for Modi. Now, Modi was reported unaccounted for last night during the inmate head count at 11 p.m. And he was convicted of murder, robbery, and escape back in 2002 in Cuyahoga County. And he is described as a white male standing at 6'4" with gray hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a blue hoodie, a gray sweatshirt, and gray pants. Now, the escape forced Hocking College to shut down until noon today, but we now know that they are shut down until further notice. Now, Nelsonville York High School is currently on spring break right now, so their classes will not be affected. And WBNS 10 TV reported this morning that Modi has family in Washington County, but his whereabouts are still unknown. The Hocking College Police Department, the Nelsonville Police, and the Ohio State Highway Patrol released that there is no threat to Athens as of this moment. Now, Moby is considered to be dangerous, so if you have any information, please contact the Ohio State Highway Patrol at 740-593-6611. Reporting live from the newsroom for Newswatch at Noon, I'm Patrick Klinger.
The Ohio bank robber caught because he flashed cash on Facebook pleaded guilty to a second bank robbery in Nelsonville. John Morgan was already serving 3 years for another bank robbery. He pleaded guilty Friday to last year's robbery at Citizens Bank in Nelsonville. Morgan was sentenced to another 2 years in prison and must pay $3,800 in restitution to Citizens Bank. A Gloucester man is going to jail for 4 years on charges he stole and stabbed a dog and crashed into another vehicle. Athens County Prosecuting Attorney Keller Blackburn says Robert Johnson crashed his vehicle into a parked car, causing it to crash into the victim's garage. The 18-year-old Johnson pleaded guilty to charges of animal cruelty, assault, vandalism, and criminal damaging. In addition to the jail time, Johnson was also sentenced to community service.
Ohio Senator Rob Portman was in Athens Saturday to discuss the problem of heroin addiction and prescription drug abuse on the rise in Ohio. The senator spoke with local women of the Rural Women's Addiction Recovery Bassett House facility about a bill aimed at reversing the trend. Portman, along with Senator Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island, are co-authors of the Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act of 2016, which passed the Senate on March 10th. It aims to reduce heroin and prescription drug abuse, which killed more people in the U.S. last year than traffic accidents. The Athens County Department of Job and Family Services was allocated nearly $30,000 by the state to investigate report of abuse of persons ages 60 and above. Normally the amount the DJFS receives around $3,000. The Ohio General Assembly also set aside $10 million to encourage counties to develop plans for improving services for the elderly. Athens County took advantage of the offer and was awarded over $62,000. According to the Athens News, the money has been spent on personal safety alarms distributed to seniors.
More than 1,000 dogs pass through the Athens Dog Shelter each year, but when the shelter cut its full-time staff from 4 to 3, they still had a way to handle all those animals. Newswatch and Noon reporter Rachel Wall-Brown is live in the newsroom with a program that is helping both the dogs and the people who are caring for them.
That's right, Ophelia. 45 dogs are cared for at the shelter at a time, so they need all the extra help they can get. And they found that help through the Southeastern Probation Treatment Alternative. The SEPTA program houses low-level criminals, and those criminals are now some of the most frequent volunteers. Last year, 1,400 dogs came through the Athens County Dog Shelter, and most all of them have found a forever home. But all of those dogs required care after the typical 9 to 5 work hours.
This is a 24/7 operation, like we're out all day, all night.
So the SEPTA Correctional Facility in Nelsonville decided to lend a helping hand, sending inmates to help with the daily operations.
They are residents. We get about 3 a day, every day. And they come in and clean, and they do various other things. They'll train the dogs, they'll walk the dogs, they'll just do whatever we need them to do.
We clean the kennels out first thing, and we give them their water. They have their water bowl, of course. We fill it all up, clean them out, make sure everything's disinfected.
While the inmates are helping the dogs get a better chance at adoption, the dogs are helping the inmates learn a thing or two about compassion and responsibility.
I like it. It's something special. It makes me feel good to help these animals out, and hopefully they find a home soon, or somebody finds them.
And while volunteering is greatly appreciated, caring for these homeless animals takes a lot of money.
Money for like monetary money for the sick and injured fund to help vet these dogs. Some of them come in with skin conditions or ear infections, and so they need to see a vet.
A bill that would increase the adoption fee for dogs who required more care while under the shelter's roof was recently nixed.
So in order to kind of offset the funds that we put toward the dog, raise the adoption fee, just to kind of give us the money back so we can use it toward a different dog.
Whether it's a $5 donation or 5 minutes of your time, the Athens County Dog Shelter could always use some volunteers. Last April, more than 100 dogs came through the shelter doors. Those numbers are expected to continue through the summer, and staff members hope to one day have them all spayed and neutered.
Okay.
Anyone interested in volunteering can apply inside the shelter or can drop off a donation. Live in the newsroom, I'm Rachel Walbrown.
Thanks, Rachel. An Athens-bound go bus overturned in Akron Sunday afternoon with some Ohio University students on board. The accident took place near University of Akron. A total of 8 people were on the bus, including the driver. The 2 of the passengers were treated for minor injuries, while 2 others refused treatment.
And another Ohio University student is denying allegations in a civil lawsuit filed by a Nelsonville man who claims he was assaulted and injured. The Athens Messenger reports that Jack Malone of Nelsonville is suing students Grant Cunningham and Thomas Curtis for more than $500,000 in damages. Cunningham filed a response Tuesday to the lawsuit denying attacking Malone.
You may be noticing groups of younger-looking students walking around Athens with their parents. Newswatch news reporter Alex Lumley is live in the newsroom to tell us who these families are. Alex, why so many out-of-town visitors lately?
With warmer weather coming up and high school graduations just weeks away, families throughout Ohio and across the country are traveling to Athens to see what OU has to offer. Science, technology, engineering, and math. STEM programs are a hot item for high school students touring the campus. Last Thursday's STEM Day is just one of the programs set up by OU Admissions to show prospective students and their families what OU has to offer.
This gives them an opportunity to learn about our programs in conjunction with the state of Ohio's interest in students learning and also being enrolled in various science, technology, medicine, math, engineering kind of programs. We offer those opportunities here, so we want students to be able to see those programs here and geared towards that interest area.
While OU has strong STEM programs, the school may be more well known for its Scripps College of Communication. Admissions puts together experience days like STEM Day for high schoolers who may not be aware of all the different programs available at OU. Enrollment at Ohio University has risen steadily over the past several years, and certainly over the past several decades. However, increasing enrollment in large numbers isn't necessarily the goal of undergraduate admissions.
I think the growth that we've seen thus far has reached a point where it will continue, but at a much slower pace. Our Board of Trustees, our faculty, our academic leadership are interested in slow and steady growth. They're interested in making sure that the university is positioned well to balance our twin missions of access and excellence.
This group of high school juniors still have some time to decide where they want to attend college. It's the hope of OU admissions that experiences like STEM Day will make those choices easier. Admissions is also hosting Ohio Up Close Days every Friday in April for high school seniors who have already been admitted to the university. Reporting live from the newsroom for Newswatch at noon, I'm...
Thanks, Alex. A suicide attack killed at least 72 people in Pakistan Park yesterday.
And authorities are on the search for another suspect linked to the bombings in Brussels. While the number of deaths continue to rise, Newswatch at noon comes right back.
Less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
An Easter Sunday bombing at a Pakistan park killed nearly 70 people and injured hundreds. A splinter group of the Pakistan Taliban claimed responsibility for the attack in the city of Lahore. The Taliban claimed they intentionally targeted Christians. The explosion happened Sunday evening when many families were celebrating Easter at the park. Police say more than 300 people were injured, and many of the killed and injured are children. A spokesman for the Taliban group vowed these attacks would continue. Authorities are on the hunt for another suspect in the Brussels terror attack. New airport security footage shows the suspect, who is still on the run. The footage shows the first moving image of the suspect that we have seen in his light-colored jacket and hat. And the number of Americans killed in Brussels increased Sunday. The State Department said that 4 Americans were killed in last week's terror attacks. 2 victims' names were released over the weekend: Justin and Stephanie Schultz, a Tennessee couple that had lived in Belgium, since 2014.
All I could do was cry. He hated no one. He would friend anyone in the world. I mean, he was just that kind of person.
Belgium police continue their aggressive investigation. They carried out 13 raids and took 9 people in for questioning on Sunday.
Bernie Sanders cleaned up Easter weekend, winning 3 of 3 states Saturday. Sanders swept the caucus states of Washington, Hawaii, and Alaska, and gained some ground on Hillary Clinton. Washington had 101 delegates up for grabs, Hawaii and Alaska with 25 and 16 respectively. Wisconsin will hold its primary on Tuesday with 96 delegates at stake.
I think every vote is pivotal. We are now winning in state after state. The Latino vote, we're doing better now that we're out of the South with the African American vote. We're doing extraordinarily well with young people. and we think we do have a path toward victory.
Even with Sanders' big wins, catching up to Clinton's delegate count is still an uphill battle. Ohio Governor John Kasich will be campaigning in Wisconsin ahead of the Midwestern Republican presidential primary. Kasich has scheduled town hall events in La Crosse and Madison on Monday ahead of the April 5 primary. His campaign will also take a stop at Milwaukee this Friday for a Republican Party event. Kasich has dismissed calls for him to drop out of the race, calling on all Republicans to rally behind him.
It's up to parents, teachers, and other residents to help refine learning standards in the state. The Ohio Department of Education adopted current standards in 2010 and have conducted revisions since it was put in place. They specify what students should learn at specific grade levels and stipulate what they should know when they finish school. Ohioans can review the standards and offer comments online at education.ohio.gov through April 5th. March Madness is down to the Final Four. The tournament brings in millions of fans and money every year.
Do local businesses benefit from the madness? Find out when Newswatch at Noon returns.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome. I think we're breathtaking. And here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that brand? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to GetSchooled.com for more info.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs. And you learned how to not ignore yours. I discovered how to make healthier meals. And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Severe storms ripped through central Florida, bringing damaging winds and a whole lot of hail. Yohandi Gonzalez returned home after a frantic call from his wife to find his 40-foot tree uprooted and on top of his home. While piles of hailstones and fallen trees caused significant damages in the area, no injuries have been reported. Luckily, all of that hail that went through there didn't affect us last night through all those thunderstorms. Nicole Schneider is with us to let us know what to expect through the week.
Yeah, that's right. Luckily, the hail missed us. But unfortunately, we do have chillier temperatures than we had this beautiful weekend. Right now, we're sitting at 48 degrees here in Athens with humidity at 68 degrees. So if you're like me and your hair frizzes up in that weather, you might want to grab a hat before class. Today across the region, everyone is at that high 40s. So we've got Chillicothe at 46 degrees, Ripley at 46 degrees as well, and Ironton and New Martinsville kind of leading the pack at 50 degrees and 52 degrees. Looking at the high for today, we've got 54 degrees here in Athens with a low of 37 degrees, which is typical for this time of year. Record has it at 85 degrees in 1989, which we will be getting warmer this week, but sadly not that warm. Luckily, we will not get as cold as that 15 degrees in 1982, which actually brought some snow to the area at that time. As you can see, looking across the nation, we've got precipitation is all moving towards the northeast of the United States and kind of staying out of our region. So we're pretty dry for the next few days. Looking at the highs for this afternoon, everyone's sitting at a comfortable mid-50 degree mark. So we've got Ironton at 56 degrees, Newark at 52 degrees, Ripley 54 degrees. Looking at the overnight lows, all the places in the region kind of at high of 30s. High 30s, so we've got 37 all in this middle region here. New Martinsville also at 37, and Marietta up to 40 degrees. Tonight's going to be a bit warmer, or a bit nicer than last night in Athens, 37 degrees and just a little bit cloudy, and then we're going to have that clear out as the night goes on. No chance of rain, so if you had a rough time sleeping during last night's storm, you'll have a nice rest tonight. We've got 50 degrees tonight at 8 p.m., then 45 at midnight with mostly cloudy, and 6 a.m. it's going to be 39 degrees. So while you're getting up for work or getting the kids ready for school, don't let that fool you because it will be getting warmer. So no need to throw on the winter jackets again. Looking at the 7-day forecast, we've got today at 53 degrees, 37 degrees going into tonight. Tuesday, 58 degrees and sunny. Wednesday is going to be a beautiful day. We've got 72 degrees, 0% chance of precipitation. So definitely get outside Wednesday because Thursday, it's going to be 74, but we're going to have thunderstorms all day and 100% chance of precipitation. So you don't really want to be caught out in that weather. Friday, 66 degrees. And then Saturday, we're going to have 58 degrees, but it's going to be windy, so while you're out doing some outdoor activities for Mom's Weekend, definitely grab a coat before you go on a hike or zip lining. We've also got 53 degrees on Sunday, and that is it for your 7-day forecast.
That's some good news right there. Can't wait.
Yeah, Wednesday's going to be really nice for us all, so everyone should get excited about that.
Excuse me, and for those feeling under the weather, there's a free mobile medical clinic in Coolsville.
Find out how to make your appointment in our community calendar.
Hopefully that nice weather that we had last weekend helped out the track and field team at their event.
Yeah, they definitely did help out the track and field team. The Ohio track and field team wrapped up its solid showing at the Adidas Winthrop University Invitational. The Bobcats picked up an additional 2 wins and racked up 15 top 10 finishes. The Bobcats return to action hosting the Ohio Cherry Blossom Invitational next Saturday. Ohio softball opened Mid-American Conference play with a 5-2 win against Western Michigan on Friday, then split a doubleheader with the Broncos on Saturday afternoon. Thanks to big home runs from Madison Claytor and Michaela Cooper and 14 strikeouts from Savannah Jo Dorsey on Friday, the Bobcats gained the series win. However, on Saturday, the Bobcats fell to the Broncos 3-0 in the first game, but came back and took the second game 2-1. The Bobcats go back to the field tomorrow when they host number 15 Kentucky for a doubleheader. First pitch is set for 3 p.m. And on to baseball. Redshirt senior catcher Cody Gartner extended his hitting streak to a program record 20 straight games, but the team couldn't get enough traction to win against Northern Illinois. The Huskies won the rubber match of the 2016 Mid-American Conference opening series 3-1 on Sunday. Northern Illinois beat Ohio in the first game of the series on Friday by a 2-0 margin. Ohio then took the second game of the series on Saturday by 4-2 and propelled by 2 home runs from senior third baseman John Adrian and 7 innings on the mound from junior starting pitcher Jake Vinecki. Ohio hosts in-state rival Ohio State to complete its 5-game homestand on Tuesday with first pitch scheduled for 6 p.m. Sticking with the Diamond, the Cincinnati Reds are looking forward to tonight against the Brewers after a 7-6 win against the Dodgers yesterday. Yesterday's powerhouse win came off of the Reds' newly signed pitcher Ross Ohlendorf. The 33-year-old has played 9 seasons in the majors with 80 career starts and 65 relief appearances. Along with the new pitcher, first baseman Joey Votto had 1 run and 1 walk, and shortstop David DeJesus got 2 runs and 1 RBI. The Reds play the Brewers tonight with first pitch set for 10:05 p.m. LeBron James helped boost the Cavaliers to a 52-21 record with a win over the New York Knicks 107-93 Saturday night. James had 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists in his 3rd triple-double of the season. Kevin Love also added 28 points and 12 rebounds to boost the Cavs to a win. Even with Kyrie Irving resting, the Cavs bounced back from a loss in Brooklyn, shutting down the Knicks in the first half. The Cavs held the Knicks to 15 points in the first quarter and 17 in the second, with James and Love carrying the offense as Cleveland took the 24-point lead. March Madness and sports bars seem to be made for one another, but the boom for such businesses is even greater when local teams are on all those screens. Newswatch at Noon reporter Krista Frost tells us how Athens area businesses are faring as the field thins.
For sports fans, the beginning of March doesn't mean the start of spring. It means the start of March Madness. 68 men's teams and 64 women's teams compete for the NCAA championship. The tournament draws millions of fans and money.
You may be surprised to find out that the basketball craze actually does little financially for local businesses.
Greg Powers owns Shade on State Street, a family sports bar. He says just being in a university town helps business, but when area teams compete at the national level, this place fills to overflowing.
It does make a big impact, particularly when some local teams are playing, like if Ohio State's in there or OU. Those are obviously big draws for this area. And when those teams are in there, you definitely see a spike. And people, when OU's in there a few years ago, our places were packed. And same with Ohio State when they're in there, it's the same thing. It's the same type of thing.
As the field narrows, with no area team left in competition, Powers says most of the talk here is how their brackets have long since been busted. Reporting for Newswatch at Noon, I'm Krista Frost.
Even though Ohio's and Ohio State's seasons are over, Powers says he's still seeing customers come out to watch the remaining teams heading towards the NCAA championship. UNC coach Roy Williams will take his post-game injuries as long as the Tar Heels are heading to the Final Four. Coach not only bit his tongue but also cut a finger during the neck-cutting ceremony after UNC beat Notre Dame 88-74 Sunday night. Bryce Johnson led the Tar Heels with 25 points and 12 rebounds, pushing them for a record 19th time in the Final Four and first appearance since 2009. UNC is the last #1 seed left in the Final Four. Jumping to the other side of the court, there was a big upset last night when number 10 seed Syracuse extended its March Madness run with a win over #1 seed UVA 68-62. Syracuse, who is 23-13, trailed UVA by 16 at the start of the second half and then became the first 10 seed to make it to the Final Four. Cuse is also the lowest seeded team to reach the national semifinals since 2011 when 11 seed VCU went to the Final Four. Syracuse will face University of North Carolina on Saturday at 8:49 p.m. So the Blue Jackets game tonight, it's going to be a really interesting game, especially for all Ohio residents, especially during against the Washington Capitals.
Hopefully they can get that win tonight.
An Easter egg hunt led to a marijuana bust yesterday. Officers in Clark County, Washington went to the home when a man started screaming during the neighborhood Easter egg hunt. He says his roommates were going to shoot him. Officers found $200,000 worth of pot and more than $100,000 in cash, which is believed to be drug money. 3 people were arrested in the drug bust. That's it for Newswatch at Noon.
Hocking College remains closed until further notice as the search for an escaped convict murderer continues. Tune in to Newswatch tonight for the latest on the search. And